everyone, my name is Izzy and welcome to my 1 in a million online personalities. Today we will be talking about Jeffree Star's major comeback to the internet, aka just reappearing as a bully and reinforcing that this is still Jeffree Star we are dealing with. But basically, Jeffree Star made an appearance on the Cancel podcast with Tana Mongeau and Brooke Schofield. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing both of their last names, it just, your girls don't know 5 hours of sleep, okay? Okay. And Jeffree Star made some pretty diabolical comments. When I say diabolical, y'all, it was things that I was like, even if I'm talking with my best friend and I'm just being outlandish, this is just something that wouldn't come to mind. But mind you, each of us are different. Each of us crash out. Each of us have, a little bit extreme things we say when we're deeply affected by something. You got what I'm saying? But for these situations, like online controversies he's been in the past, I don't think it was enough for him to garner such strong emotions and have such terrific things to say. Now, I'm going to list out some of the things he said on my computer because, yes, I was taking notes. It was like, my whole face was just like this while watching the podcast. And y'all, I don't even be watching Cancel with Tana Mongeau and Brooke Schofield. I don't be watching their podcast. I'm not really a podcast person. But this one was, yeah, it was out there.
It was all so crazy. And I think when the pandemic happened, remember that old lady, Tati? Remember her? She uploaded a second video, which is now about to, be 5 years old.
Jeffree called Tati an old woman. Now, Tati is another YouTuber who Jeffree James stars, and basically the whole beauty community during the 2016 era was involved with at the time, and they were in a huge controversies over some gummies, loyalty, James Charles dealing with the kid and all of those rumors and things that were debunked, that entire thing that I can't get into in this video. But just know Tati is just another YouTuber on the platform, and she was massive at the time. Mind y'all, Jeffree kept calling Tati an old woman, even though they are this close in age, this close in age. And obviously it has a lot to do with the fact that she's a woman, and using old woman is obviously going to be an insult towards her, even though they're literally around the same age. So why are you pointing out the fact that she's an old woman while you being an old man? Come on now. Another weird thing Jeffree did was, while they were talking... Allie, get down. Oops. Now, one thing I am going to talk about in this video is Tana's reaction to all of this. And I'm going to hone in on Tana because Brooke stayed silent for 90% of this podcast because Jeffree and Tana kept talking over her. She just was sitting there side eye. Whenever Jeffree said something crazy, she was like... And Tana was over here enabling this man. She was over here just keying with him. She's not correcting him. She's not clocking him. She's not questioning him further on what he's saying. She's just over here laughing at it. Literally any and every crazy thing that Jeffree says, Tana is there to back it up and almost make it seem it's really not that serious. He called Tati an old woman for no good reason. To me, it just was not necessary. And then another thing that he did was he was talking about the ex-CEO's Susan's death. And if you guys don't know, she passed away from lung cancer. And Tana and Brooke didn't know that she died. And they were like, wait, she's dead? And he was like, yeah, R.I.P. He rolled his eyes. And then they were like, oh, wow. And then Jeffree was like, oh, yeah, that's probably her James Charles karma.
Off of everyone's misery, they did. The old 100%. CEO at the time really pandered to a lot of that evil energy in the darkness.
Susan?
Yeah, rest in peace.
Did she die?
She did, yeah. It was probably from her James Charles karma. But anyway.
Yeah.
So...
Carry the 4, subtract the 2.
And then Tana went on to say 4 minus 2 equals 2. I'm like, girl, is this not your podcast? Come on, where's the integrity? Where's the decorum? Where's the professionalism? I get that they have a relationship in the past, friendship in the past, or whatever the case might be. But this is now your podcast that you're using to redeem yourself from all the stupid things you did in the past. And all it takes is for Jeffree Star to sit up on your couch for you to, throw everything out the window and just be like, yeah, whatever stupidness he says, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to encourage it and I'm going to enable it. Take some control of the stage. That was just, I think it was just very sloppy and actually disturbing to witness on her end. You're talking about someone's death, the ex-CEO's death. And even though she had her faults and had her mistakes, there's a reason why racism and blackface and all that stuff was happening under her control. Like, all of that stuff happened. But the lady passed away from lung cancer. Like, what the hell does James Charles have to do with this? Like, it was totally not funny. Even from, like, a dark and edgy standpoint, it was just, like, seriously? Like, you're just coming off as bitter on a platform you're trying to regain an audience from. And then, the most of the video was him talking about how rich he is, how he have this 1,000 acres of land in Wyoming, and how it isn't really about the money, but it is about the money. I'm going to remind you guys that it is about the money. And I don't really need the money, but I do need the money because I need you guys to go buy my products on TikTok, because that's why I'm going on live. I'm not like Jason Nash, but I want you guys to know I'm making $50,000 off a TikTok shop. So it's not as lame, it's not pandering, and no, I'm not begging my viewers for money, even though you quite literally are, even if they're purchasing your products. I just feel like, you know, good on him for owning up to it, because, like, money is money. Like, posting videos on YouTube, money. There are people who have OnlyFans making money from just taking pictures of their bodies. There are people, like, people bagging stuff at the grocery store. They're making money from that. You make money from cooking. You make money from all types of things. There's different sorts of labor included, but money is still money at the end of the day. You put in the work, you get the money. You got what I'm saying? And some people don't have to put in as much work as other people. But for them to make fun of Jason Nash while congratulating Jeffree was just so hilarious to see. And it was so crazy to watch Jeffree literally make Tana take her words back on what she said about, like, Jason Nash was hilarious. It was
So
boring.
the other day, so I do live stream on TikTok now. Let's talk about that.
Okay, I need to know.
Because I be
We're so
scrolling
curious
a
about
lot,
it.
and I see a lot of people hating on other creators.
Me.
So
Jeffree
of
Lynn,
people.
I got to put this out on the record.
let's hear it, bitch. Come on.
Apologize.
Come on.
Well, here's what I'm going to say, okay? It is, and I stand on this. Seeing Jason Nash panhandle was maybe one of the highlights of my year. Hilarious. The trajectory of the, cheers to the fall of the Dobrik alumni, right?
It
And
is
a lot of-
wild as a viewer to see someone that was so far up David's ass just sit on TikTok in their kitchen.
Yes. And, obviously, like,
Hi.
yeah. And it's all insane. And I stand on that. And I just see so many people who have, like, flocked now resorting to that.
Yeah.
But then I open my fucking For You page, and there's Miss Jeffree Lynn in a battle with 4 people in middle America.
Yep.
So clearly
For
there's something we're
galaxies.
missing, and I need to
So,
know what it is.
let
And
me-
I'm like,
let's dive in.
wait, because now I'm like, did I fuck up? Did I go too far against this? Because
Oh my
if you're
God.
doing it, you're doing it,
Some people are gonna
did I,
start
am I
stitching
missing
you
out on a
together,
business
like,
opportunity?
Yeah.
Like, suddenly I want a galaxy.
So
There.
Go watch that podcast for yourself. Like, it was crazy. It was like watching Jeffree enter the podcast, taking control of the room, and, like, running their podcast for them. And I'm like, what are you guys terrified for? Like, what are you actually afraid of? Maybe Jeffree be doing some juju, voodoo, something behind the scenes. Okay, do not take me seriously. Don't take me seriously. But it was just quite crazy. It's like, why would you invite somebody onto your podcast if you're not even really comfortable with them as a guest? Like, you're just here to, save yourself on your own podcast. And I get that the whole point of the podcast is to, like, bring on canceled guests. It's called cancel. Like, Tana's been canceled multiple times. Brooke recently been canceled, even though she was not necessarily a part of that 2016 drama. I get the concept of being like, oh, Jeffree Star's been canceled, so let's bring him on to our canceled podcast. I get that whole point, and the point of the podcast is to be about the guests you're bringing. But I just feel like it could have gone more in depth, and I feel like they could have gotten more valuable information out of him rather than just focusing on this nasty drama that happened in 2016 and literally calling out people, like, targeting people who have literally moved on from this 2016 era. Like, Tati just announced that she's sober now. Like, she's talking about how she's technically renewed her life and how she was such in a dark spot years ago. And for you to, like, put a huge target on her and continuously attack her for no good reason. What was that sound? Anyways, that was just unnecessary to me. Personally, I just think that was super unnecessary, and it was just giving bully energy. Like, he still clearly holds a lot of resentment from that past incident, and he's out here on this show. He took this time to, like, really empty out his negative feelings. And, instead of Tana stopping him for a minute and, like, let's go back to what you learned in therapy. What do you think you learned from this situation? If there was something you could have done differently, what would you have done? Or just say, you know what, let's move on past this topic. You don't have to be calling nobody this. You don't have to, like, take control of the room. Because Brooke over here fighting for her life because she just got caught for her racist tweets a few weeks ago. She not over here trying to join in on the mess that Jeffree came to, like, dump out on the podcast. Y'all, and then he circled back to throw another blow at Tati by saying, oh, let me say one thing before you die. You old witch. Like, he called her a witch. He said she's the darkest person he's ever seen. And then here goes Tana in the corner saying, like, oh my gosh, I wish we had more guests that would say things like this. Like,
him as a alleged predator and all these things was going to teach him a lesson and remove him from the platform. It really wasn't about gummies. I think that was the start of it, because to me the gummies was loyalty.
Yak's back.
I'm gonna speak for her stupid ass, Tati, you dumb cunt. I'm gonna say let me say one thing for you before you die, you fucking old witch.
I just wish more people would come on Canceled and do this.
She is one of the darkest people.
This man about to single-handedly ruin your career in a few weeks. Like, you don't just... We're talking about other people here on the Canceled podcast. What do you mean you're gonna listen to someone say, oh, well, let me tell you this before you die, you old witch? This man just wished death upon another person on your podcast, and you sat here saying you wish there were more people like this on your podcast? Yo, I was just so confused, and I was just like, why is she so afraid to step up to him? Like, why is she actually encouraging him and gassing him up while saying these things? Like, are we hearing the same words? Like, what did Jeffree do to you? What dirty laundry does Jeffree have on you? Like, what is it? What is it? What is it? And you can see in that clip, once he said that, Brooke was like, y'all hearing this? And every time Brooke tried to even say something, Jeffree's talking over her. Tana's talking over her. It was more of a Jeffree and Tana podcast moment rather than, you know, the regular setup. And then, y'all, out of nowhere... Okay, now, quick disclaimer. I know that Michaela Nunguru... I can't really say her last name. But Michaela, the popular beauty guru from TikTok, I know that she have a lot of controversies and she's done a lot of questionable things. She lied about advertisements. She's lied about brand deals. Let me stop saying that word. She's lied about brand deals. She's like been a very dishonest person in terms of like being in the influencer space. And clearly a lot of this is mainly for money, but she's killing it on what she's doing. Like, she's out here on top of the makeup game when it comes to TikTok. And Jeffree was one of the first people to, like, well, not one of the first, but he played a huge role in calling her out about the fake mascara ad that she did where she put on false lashes and then she took the mascara and, like, applied it on the false lashes and tried to say, oh, no, this is my real lashes, when it's clearly false eyelashes. And that's basically what broke Jeffree out into the TikTok scene, or make him realize he want to come back, which... according to him, that's according to Jeffree's words. For some reason, Jeffree just kept throwing blows at her for some reason. I'm like, okay, we're over the mascara thing. You proved her wrong. L'Oreal made a lot of money off of the fake ad. You gained a lot of followers off of it. You gained money off of this. Like, I don't get why you keep attacking Michaela. And at some point in the video, he said that Michaela needs to, like, present herself better or something like that. Or, like, she needs to get her appearance together because she can't pretend to be the girl next door for long enough. Like
her. We've spoken before. I saw her on FaceTime. We've talked in the DMs.
Did she have the orange hands on FaceTime?
No, she didn't have money then. And the thing is, when you're making millions of dollars a month, I don't understand why you don't look more presentable. But I think it's the shtick of, I'm going to pretend to be the girl next door forever. No, you're very wealthy.
I'm like, what the hell? Why are you attacking this girl's appearance? Like, at first, he was starting to make some sense about her, like, lying and just being deceptive to her audience and how there's not much integrity with that. But then he just attacked her appearance out of nowhere. I was like, okay, now you're just a bully. Like, you're literally just a bully. Like, you are quite literally just a big, bitter bully. And it was disturbing to just watch. Oh my gosh. I need you guys to go watch that interview and see how Tana enabled, not just allowed, enabled this. And where I can understand that nervousness and being around someone who you're afraid to, like, have beef with, or you just respect a relationship with them, and things like are a little bit tense and awkward in the beginning. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be the person to like make things fall apart, especially if they're probably doing you a favor by being on your show. But it's still your show, and there are some things you can choose to react to, and there are some things you can choose not to react to. You get what I'm saying? Especially in something as extreme as wishing death on someone, calling somebody an old woman, saying that this person's appearance looked sloppy, making fun of someone's death, you know, the person who ran the platform your podcast is currently on. Like, I just feel like that was just mean girl behavior and bullying, and she encouraged the life out of it. Not enabled the life out of it. Take this as you will. All of us are going to see this podcast quite differently. Some people are going to defend Tana because, you know, they like Tana. But I think she just did an overall terrible performance and, like, just a sloppy job at allowing Jeffree to use their platform to just be a big fat bully. Like, I'm going to say it again. That was straight up bullying. I don't care if it was drama from the past. I don't care who did this. I don't care who did that. Removing all of Jeffree's drama and all the things that Jeffree has been exposed for doing, that was just straight up bullying, okay? So I'm gonna say that, okay. And that was it for this video, y'all. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, if you made it all the way to the end, say pink microphone that's not on in the comment section. But other than that, let me know y'all thoughts, because I know I ain't tripping. I know I was not the only one who was watching and was like, ugh. Is this not your podcast? Is this not your podcast? Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one, which will not be this week because I'm going to be kind of busy this week. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.